Okay, so what if one of the oldest, most foundational books ever written wasn't just about how the world began, but was actually a blueprint for understanding, well, us? Today, we are diving deep into the book of Genesis. We're going to see how this incredible story of a perfect beginning, a total fracture, and a promise to fix it all has shaped the world for thousands of years.
It all kicks off with this line. I mean, probably one of the most famous opening lines in all of literature, right? It sets the stage for this epic story about a creative, powerful God and his most important creation, humanity. You can really think of the entire book of Genesis in three major acts. First, you have God's perfect design. Then, you have the human choice that just shatters it. And finally, you get this divine promise to put all the pieces back together. So, let's start where Genesis does. In a world with no cracks, no flaws, just perfection.
So, part one, we open in a world that is just full of order and harmony. This is the first movement of the story, and it shows us exactly how creation was supposed to be.
Now, the creation story isn't trying to be a science textbook. It reads more like this beautiful, structured poem. And there's a really cool pattern to it. See, in the first 3 days, God creates the spaces, or the realms, light, sky, water. And then in the next 3 days, he fills them. At every single step, he calls it good. It's all about a world brimming with purpose and beauty. And then on day 7, he rests, setting up this rhythm of work and rest right from the get-go.
But here's where things get really interesting. The absolute pinnacle of this whole creation story is humanity. Everything else God made was good, but humans, they're described as very good. And why? Because of this idea, the imago Dei, which is Latin for the image of God. Now, this isn't about our physical appearance. It's about our role. It means we're created to be God's representatives on earth, to reflect his character and to care for this amazing world he made.
But, as we all know, that perfect world doesn't last. The harmony gets broken. And it's not because of a flaw in the design. It's because of a human choice.
So in the Garden of Eden, this serpent shows up and plants this tiny, poisonous seed of doubt. Did God really say? That one question tempts Adam and Eve to just define good and evil for themselves. So eating the fruit isn't just about breaking some arbitrary rule. It's about a deep act of distrust that creates the very first crack in the relationship between humanity and God.
And the scary thing is, sin isn't a one-and-done event. It spirals. That first separation from God immediately leads to separation between people. I mean, think about it. In just one generation, the story goes from a single act of disobedience to the first murder, all because Cain's jealousy just completely takes him over.
So that single fracture sends cracks through everything. All of a sudden, our relationship with God, with each other, with our work, even with the planet itself, it's all marked by struggle, by pain. But, and this is a huge but, even in this darkness, God is already dropping hints of mercy, hints of a rescue plan that's starting to form.
Okay, so after human pride basically hits its peak with the Tower of Babel, where everyone's trying to make a name for themselves, God just completely flips the script. Instead of just wiping the board clean, he launches his rescue mission through one guy, a man from modern-day Iraq named Abram.
God makes this powerful three-part promise, a covenant with Abram, who he later renames Abraham. And you got to notice the language here. God promises to give Abraham the exact things the people of Babel were trying to grab for themselves, a great nation and a great name. This is the beginning of God's master plan to bless the whole world through one single family.
Now this verse, this is an absolute game changer for the entire biblical story. The foundation of this new relationship with God isn't about Abraham being perfect. It's not about him doing everything right. It's based entirely on one thing, his trust, his faith in God's promise. That's it. And that idea is going to ripple through everything that follows.
And you know, it's a good thing this relationship is based on faith, because the family God chooses, let me tell you, they are a hot mess. Abraham's descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and his 12 sons, they are deeply, deeply flawed people. We're talking deception, dysfunction, favoritism, the whole shebang. Abraham's grandson Jacob is the perfect example of this. He spends the first half of his life being a trickster, a schemer, a deceiver. But then one night, he literally wrestles with God, or a divine being, and he refuses to let go until he gets a blessing. He walks away from that encounter with a limp, but also with a new name, Israel, which means he struggles with God. His life shows us that faith isn't about being perfect. It's about holding on, about wrestling with God even in our brokenness. And the whole book of Genesis builds to this stunning climax with the story of Jacob's favorite son, Joseph. His life becomes the ultimate test case. Can God really keep his promises and work through this incredibly messed up family?
Joseph's life is just a wild roller coaster of betrayal and injustice. I mean, his own brothers sell him into slavery. Then he's falsely accused and thrown in prison. Yet the text keeps repeating this one line, "The Lord was with Joseph." And through it all, he keeps his integrity. And time again, what looks like a total dead end turns into a stepping stone for his future.
And this brings us to the profound conclusion of the entire book. Years later, Joseph is now second in command of Egypt, and his brothers are standing before him terrified. He has all the power to get revenge, but instead he offers forgiveness and this incredible perspective. He tells them that even through their evil actions, God was weaving a much bigger, better story. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway from Genesis. It's a book about a God who isn't just reacting to our failures. He is a master artist, weaving even our worst choices, our biggest mistakes, into his unstoppable plan to rescue and restore the world.
And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This pattern we see all the way from Adam to Joseph. This pattern of human failure meeting God's faithfulness. It isn't just some ancient history lesson. It's an invitation for us to look at our own lives, our own failures, and to wonder, where might a redemptive story be unfolding for us right now?